Hello, hello, and I want to welcome you to another interesting presentation about balancing your hormones naturally. Today, I'm going to talk about the healthy liver and gut. So, um, I hope that you've attended others as well. If you're not, they are available. Please do subscribe, and I will send the summary of all of the things and all of the information I have shared so far. So there should be three others. I'll talk about the insulin, I'll talk about the estrogen, I'll talk about the other hormones as well. And my name is Monica Matea. If you don't know me, I'm a holistic certified health and life coach. And I'm here to talk about the hormones, but from the perspective of not kind of, oh, by the way, you have these symptoms, this is what you need to do. It's really encouraging you to change some of the habits. I believe in early phases when we focus on health and where we want to be and what may happen in the future. I think it's important to realize, just, okay, so I'm not feeling that great. I have maybe some of the symptoms, but how I can transform and how I can change it in a way that is better for me and better for my body, especially that we don't want this, the symptoms to go out of control. We don't want to arrive at a place that now we have so many different symptoms that we don't know how to manage it. And quite often that what happens in late 40s and 50s. And I'm not saying that changing a lot, will guarantee you won't have any symptoms. What I'm saying, you're minimizing the risk of getting some. But there are other things, predispositions, genetics, the lifestyle overall we have, like when we stress a lot, we have high demanding jobs, difficult personal lives, all of that will put additional pressures. So I'm here to encourage you to look at what possible symptoms you may have and what you can do naturally to prevent this to developing into something more serious. So I'm 43 at the moment, and I noticed, like, for example, I may have some night sweats, or I may have a little bit of brain fog. I may not really feel good in terms of the energy level. So I see those symptoms appearing not on a regular basis, but on, there is a bit of a pattern here and there. So I want to make sure that I do everything I can, and that really is predominantly in lifestyle changes, that I can minimize those symptoms and manage them as naturally for as long as possible. I truly believe in a holistic care, but holistic care not only means, natural way of doing things, but sometimes asking for medical intervention, but not more kind of intentional rather than, oh, I take this tablet or that pill and I see what it does. It's just being more intentional in your choices. My story, I'm a mom, wife, type 1 diabetic, have been for over 20 years. I'm a business owner, friend, plant-based food lover, and keen chef. I absolutely, 2 years ago, I was even in a worse situation than I am at the moment. And I'm so glad that I have changed this. I've put in changes into my lifestyle, which really makes me better. Yes, I do have all niggling here and there. Something suddenly appears and you don't know how to deal with it or something like that. But overall, touch wood, I must say that, has not been too bad. I will have episodes of maybe feeling not in my best energy, but I think it's normal. But that's why I just want to make sure that I do manage my symptoms as best as I can. Our health over 40 can really suffer from various things. This is the decades of life where we not necessarily paid a lot of attention to whether we eat healthy, whether we stress less, whether we exercise on a regular basis. And sometimes it's like a car, which we would like to go faster, but our frustration is because it's stuck in a second gear. And I think there is a lot of things in terms of our health to look at that we want to go faster, we want to achieve all these things, we want to set up our business, we want to do this and that, but our energy and our body is just saying, oh, by the way, I'm not there. So mood swings, fatigue, thinning hair, low libido, less tolerance for alcohol, definitely that's something for me. Easy to put on when you keep holding on even if it does not make sense. You exercise crazy, you even eat healthy, but still that weight is not there. Either you can't lose it, or you really, with a few off-track episodes, you start putting it in the middle section. And there is a reason for that, and that's addressed in my other webinars. So it's good to have a look. So why healthy liver is important? I think all of our organs are very important, and all of them have a certain wear and tear after years of neglect, potentially, for various reasons. But particularly liver and gut are so critical to our health. So I want to talk about this today. So when you hear the word, detoxification, it probably brings like, oh, I'm going to drink a lot of juices, or I'm going to water fast, I'm going to just do all of that and then spend all my time in the toilet, right? But actually, that's not necessarily works like that. But yes, there is an element of that for sure. But liver is our main detoxification organs. We have obviously kidneys, we have lungs. All of that really helps with that. So overall, we say like, well, we don't need anything to help us to detoxify. What we need is to help our organs to function better because of the neglect potential we have done, or damage we have done over the last few years. And liver has 500 jobs to do, and it's your main detoxification organ, but it regulates your hormones and also your temperature. I mean, liver is such a hard-working organ, and especially it really works hard during night. So it really detoxifies around 2 or 3 a.m. Therefore, we may wake up a little bit because, like, our body heats up as well. It really works very, very hard. Over the years, we accumulate some toxins in our body. We used to live in a cleaner environment. We didn't stress that much years and years and years ago. We had really a more natural way of living, whereas now it's just so far from it. So obviously some of the toxins, it's just doesn't have an easy way out of our body. And toxins, unfortunately, are they like hiding in our fat cells, and taking them out sometimes can be more difficult if your organs are not functioning properly. So it's not like whatever we put in goes out equally. It would be wonderful if that happens, but for a lot of people, it doesn't happen that way. And especially for us, for women, when we have to deal with a lot of these hormonal challenges as well, it is quite difficult. And genes do play a role, because some people can take on a lot of toxins, and they come from, skincare products, from air, from chemical products we use in our house, from mold in our house, from like so many different ways. And obviously, even from, if you don't wash your vegetables and fruits, there's herbicides and pesticides. I mean, water, right? So all of that your body has to take in and detoxify, right? We didn't have that before, right? So now it is just add on. And for some people, they can detoxify, they can accumulate and detoxify maybe better than the others, right? But for a lot of us, that's not that straightforward. When liver struggles to cope with toxins and waste, can be backed up, and they can get circulated back to your bloodstream. And this is where we start feeling not our best selves. So what happens is too much estrogen. Liver is responsible to get rid of excess estrogen. Low thyroid, liver is the place where most of your thyroid hormones get converted into active mode. Deficiency of active thyroid hormones can slow down metabolism, hang on to fat stores, and cause poor energy levels. So really important. Blood sugar roller coaster. Liver plays a critical role in blood sugar balance. Yeah, our liver stores sugar for emergencies, and it is released when it's needed, right? So it is an important organ. Now, I said about liver, it's like, oh, but it's good, it's going to restore itself, whatever. But there are so many cases, non-alcoholic fatty liver diseases, because of the lifestyle predominantly, and that what is causing inflammation. It's just the liver, the fat building up in your liver cells. So basically, if it is untreated, if we are not changing our lifestyles, then what happens is that our liver really suffers, and the outcome can be cirrhosis, which is just the worst. Unfortunately, is it really is an advanced cell damage of liver, and really people suffer. But it could be related, not necessarily to, obviously we have NASH, which is hepatitis, but generally, that's the thing. People, we think that is from the alcohol, that we can have alcohol fatty liver disease, but a lot of the cases are showing there is a lot of non-alcoholic related liver diseases, and it's metabolic syndromes, it's insulin resistance, obesity, and being overweight. All of that contributes, because obviously those are quite often related to poor lifestyle choices. So what can you do? I'm all about healthy habits for life. Yeah, I'm not about, oh, by the way, you can now take supplement, like you can eat whatever and then just take supplements, it will help you, or run to the doctor because you need to do it. Obviously, if you're not feeling well, and if you've not been feeling well, absolutely go and get this checked. But there are things you can do. Drink more water and less alcohol. I cannot tolerate more alcohol. I feel I'm not really sleeping well. I'm not really waking up rested. It just doesn't do this for me anymore. Even glass of good red wine, I mean, it just doesn't do it. So why I would just cut it down. Water, first thing you get up, water with lemon, help your liver to to function properly. Eat more broccoli, kale, cauliflower, cabbage, watercress, 2 portions a day. All of that have special phytonutrients, flavonoids, which that really help to boost your nutritional content of the food, and helps you with the hormonal balance as well. Ditch sugar, refined carbs, and processed foods. I mean, this is the killer for the liver, because all of that's going to be converted into fat if it is in excess, and quite often it is. Processed food doesn't have any really nutrients, and it just adds on to the problem. Eat enough protein for sustainable energy. I think we know about proteins, but it seems like the older we get, the less protein we have, and actually we should have more. So the recommendation is 0.8 gram per kilo of weight, but when we age, it should be 1.2 gram per kilo of weight. But it seems like we can't even do that. Get your bowels moving. Pooping, perfect. Make sure you poop on a regular basis. We don't want toxin to be stuck in your bowel and your colon and all of that. We want to make sure that you remove all this toxin as soon as possible. And with unnecessary medications, use alternatives, like for headaches. Pain can be a bit of an issue for people, and it has been an issue for me recently. And unfortunately, I did take some medication because I couldn't really, but I help with natural solution as best as I could. I never take anything for the headache. I take peppermint essential oil. It does really help me. Reduce stress, meditation, breathing, breath work. Breath work, I know there are tools available there. Get some help if you feel like, it's not for me. Good exercise, yoga, all of that will really help you. Go organic, reduce toxic load, give good a cleanse a go. I mean, cleanse, you're like, oh, what is that? But giving yourself a break from this high allergic food can show you how better you can feel, right? It may not be straight away, because a lot of people find it very hard to ditch the sugar completely. They are angry, irritated, all of that. It's very sometimes challenging that people are afraid of cleanses. No, I'm not going to do it. But the more frequently you do it, and I do 3 times a year, the better it gets. You're not going to cover everything in one go, and you shouldn't really, because cleansing sometimes is not even the first solution. Make sure that you get better and a stronger body a little bit before you do the cleanse, because your body works very, very hard to remove the toxins in the way, the cleanse works. It removes the toxins, so it works very, very hard. And it's amazing, because when I just really put my mind, and the next cleanse runs on the 1st of June, my body almost knows now that, oh, we're going to do this, and it's just sort of preparing. And I have, although I eat quite well overall, you know, that time, this 10 days, my body works on a completely different level. And sometimes I find it hard, sometimes easier. I mean, there are different ways. Sugar, it definitely is a challenge. Caffeine as well. But I want to do it. And it's not about, oh, well, I do it for 10 days and then I go back. It's like discovering things that work better for you, and maybe cut down on gluten or maybe dairy because you feel better, right? Like sugar as well, and all of that. So really choosing one or two things you can carry over. Yes, you know, life happens and some people are like, oh, I've really, but that's the thing, you know, treat cleanses as establishing one or two healthy habits and continuing with it as much and for as long as possible. But get stronger first, right? If you already feel poorly, doing a cleanse may not be the best solution. You need to strengthen your body. You need to absorb the nutrients better. And there are different ways to do it, but maybe the cleanse may not be the first thing. Now, let me just think. Right, so healthy and happy gut, happy hormones. Gut is the center of our health. There is so much research going on in impact of our gut health on mental health, on other digestive issues and all of that. It's so much going on, and it's clearly, the research is showing that, you know, we need to look after our gut. You know, it's our second and sometimes I would think first brain, and we really make sure that we are looking after it. So unhealthy gut signs is just really not everything in here, but constipation, food sensitivities, bloating, bad breath, cramps, bleeding gums, thrush, heartburn, and all sorts of other things in terms of the mental health problems and autoimmune conditions, like massive. How unhealthy gut can affect hormones, stress and cortisol. When you are stressed, digestive issues are more likely. Obviously, you know, we don't absorb the nutrients the way we could because we stress a lot, and our body is dealing with higher level of cortisol. When you have too many bad bacteria or yeast in the gut, they crave more sugar and carbs, stimulating more insulin release, so more fat storage. Thyroid hormones are so delicate and so important for the balance and need variety of nutrients. The thing is that we are not what we eat, but what we absorb. So if we have unhealthy gut, a leaky gut, which I explain in a minute, what happens is that it leaks through the toxins to your body, to your bloodstream, and it just causes all sorts of different things. So we do not absorb it, we're just leaking it, right? So your digestive system is not functioning, and obviously your thyroid may suffer. And poor gut health can also affect the clearance of estrogen from the body. Estrogen, excess estrogen, it goes to your liver, it goes to your gut, it has to be removed. But if it is your gut is not working properly, it's going to be a challenge. This is from Dr. Josh Axe, a really good source of various natural health information, but not only. And that's what happens, you know, with stress, toxins, food particles, drugs, pathogens, and organ malfunctions, like, for example, liver. This is what happens. We sort of instill a little bit of gut inflammation, or even sometimes more. And our villi, so those really small kind of hairy-like thing on your gut lining, are impacted. It sort of open up a little bit. There are patches, and it's like permeability, I think it's called. So it becomes like a colander kind of thing, like sieve, right? So it doesn't stop, it just starts leaking, and that comes into your bloodstream. So nutrients malabsorption, autoimmune, food intolerance, blood-brain barrier breach, and systematic inflammation. And inflammation, when you look about that into this, it's just the cause of almost every illness there is. You know, first of all, we have a lower grade inflammation, which can be for years, and that includes cancers. It could be for years before something serious is developed. I think it's the same like for the liver, you know, avoid refined carbs and sugar, include fiber. Our gut loves fiber. 35 grams is the recommended daily intake. So going more plant-based, changing some of those meals a few times a week will include that, because you're going to have some beans and some chickpeas, and all of that includes a lot of fiber. People say, oh yeah, but it has a lot of carbs as well. I mean, it doesn't have a lot. It has some, probably more than some other food, but it has a lot of fiber, so that carbs are differently absorbed into your body, and you don't have to have plates and plates of it, right? So just being just mindful of that. Include probiotic foods, sauerkraut, kimchi, no sugar kombucha, fermented tea, many flavors available. I love the raspberry one. Reduce gluten. Too much gluten may impact gut inflammation. And that has been discovered with the ladies coming to the clinics, and they said, well, not to mind, but when they work through the hormonal changes, that is the same thing. When they have a bit of more gluten, it just potentially may attack also thyroid. So there is some connection in there. Avoid alcohol, yeah, or definitely considerably reduce. Relax, especially before eating. That help many of my clients to relax before the eating, to improve the digestion, to improve to have less bloating, and just making even more conscious healthy choices, rather than just eating very quickly and in a high level of stress. So I hope that you find it interesting, and I just feel like I would love to do so much in terms of the prevention, because I believe that it's such a great way to see, to understand what's going on, and then do something about it. So I use the AWAKEN method. So basically, sometimes the clients come and with the Live with Health, and they are not clear. They have some symptoms, they don't know what that is, and it just builds on top of everything, and they can be quite overwhelmed. So first of all, you have to be aware of symptoms. Something is not right in your life. You have low energy levels. Whatever the symptoms is, could be health related or overall. How badly I want to change or do something about it. Is it bothering me, or I would just do it wherever, or I don't do it at all? Both aware and want, you have to do on your own, right? Because I don't know you, and maybe other people don't know you. Maybe some, people it depends how much you share and how much you show. But awareness comes from within, and understanding. And a lot of my clients do journaling, right? Okay, so this is how I feel today. I'll journal about it and come back to it and see whether there is any kind of pattern. There is a good balance. This is the app, which basically allows you to recognize your menopausal symptoms. And it's a good way, because it just gives you a bit of the information and what to do next. So build awareness, track your symptoms, because even if then you go to your doctor and say, like, well, by the way, I have been doing this for a month, what do you think, right? So you have something in there. So awareness is really important, and obviously so how badly you want to change it. Aspire, rise high, take on the challenge, right? It's not like, oh, I will wait or whatever. You have to really take it on and do something about it. Educate yourself. There is loads of sources available, and it's amazing how many times I have to send links to some things. And I know that it can be confusing, because there is a lot of different information out there. But buy a good book, and that will really help you. The one I have is Nikki Williams. And actually, this is where I base a lot of my presentation. It's not you, it's your hormones. So the lady really, just looks at that. And but my job is helping clients to actually have those beautiful, healthy habits in place, because we can have the whole treatment plan, but not really a mindset for it to implement. Because even if you do the test and you go through this, you may not have the habits and mindset to actually implement, like supplementation and all of that. You forget. So it's good always to work on that kind of habit change method. Expand, ask for help, work with a coach, grow personally. You know, for me, getting healthier, it was the personal growth, and always is education, knowing more, asking for help, communicating. You know, it's all of that, and it's part of my personal growth. Nurture. So once you have all this beautiful thing in place, you need to nurture good habits for life, personal growth and knowledge. It never stops. You change as well. Your circumstances are changing. You're a completely different person, maybe in 2 years' time. So you need to nurture those good habits for life, and remaining flexible as well, right? What served me, I don't know, a year ago doesn't serve me anymore. So maybe I need to investigate further and see what I can change. This is beautiful, beautiful green soup, which I want to recommend you to cook. You can find it on Instagram, but probably on website from The Medicinal Chef. Beautiful plant-based green soup. We never have enough green vegetables in our diet. I think you can really, really love it. It's a white onion, finely chopped, and this is just really, really lovely thing for you to have a go and try. I will be cooking this for sure. And if you are called to it, join me for the Renew and Recharge program that starts on the 1st of June, 47 pounds, and it may really change your life. But you have to be ready. As I said, you have to want it, you have to be aware, and you have to want it, right? It's not about dragging in people to work on themselves, because it never works. You know, you need to basically push through a little bit of that resistance in yourself, and then work with somebody like a coach for your mindset, right? But the first thing is that resistance, which you need to work on for yourself. So thank you very much for this, and I hope you enjoy that. If you have any questions, you can always ask me, send me information, ask me things about, and book the initial appointment for one-to-one clarity call, I call it, you know, see where you are in terms of your habits, your nutrition, and see whether coaching is actually for you. I have all sorts of different programs. You know, I believe in long-term results. 3 months is usually minimum, and as my time is quite limited, that's probably what I take. But I can offer something for you to start as well. So take care, and thank you very much.